This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. Supreme Court ruling could have implications for St. Catherine SOE, say attorneys. Attorney Michael Hemmings says that the Supreme Court's ruling yesterday that the detention of his client under the state of emergency in St. James in 2018 was unlawful has implications for the similar measure newly declared for St. Catherine. The court on Friday morning ruled that the fundamental rights of St. James-based taxi operator Rashane Clark were violated and awarded him $17.8 million in damages. Mr. Clark, who was detained for months without charge, had challenged his detention on the basis that his human rights were violated, with the court ruling that aspects of the regulations used in the 2018 state of emergency were null and void and a breach of fundamental rights and freedoms. Mr. Hemmings warned that if the current regulations are the same, then the state of emergency in St. Catherine could also be found unconstitutional.
The court this morning ruled that the regulations that were used in the previous state of emergency, aspect of it would be null and void and unconstitutional and a breach of fundamental rights and freedom. So certainly, if the regulations that are being proposed to be used now in the state of emergency in St. Catherine is similar to what was used previously, then certainly it would be unconstitutional and would have far-reaching implications as it relates to the state of emergency announced this morning. He is thankful and he is just happy that the court saw his point of view and agreed that his rights were violated. He spent a total of 263 days in custody for no reason. And today, the court has agreed that it was unconstitutional and he feels as though justice was done. We are satisfied. It was never about the money. It was really about making the point that the implementation of the state of emergency and the regulation breached the constitutional rights of Mr. Clark, and we are grateful that the court agreed with our submissions. And the money is really as a result of the court agreeing. So we are grateful for the $70.8 million, notwithstanding, but we're even more grateful for the ruling of the court that will set a precedent going forward.
Attorney Bert Samuels has suggested that all other persons who were detained under previous states of emergency have grounds to bring a claim against the government. Mr. Samuels argued that although the government amended the regulations in 2019, it did not change the offending parts of which Friday's ruling was made.
The regulations were held to be unconstitutional. It means that every single individual which were detained by the under the state of emergency throughout all of the states of emergency were unconstitutionally kept. You're talking about $17 million multiplied by possibly 50,000. Exaggeration, but I'm making the point. The Attorney General is no doubt studying this judgment now to see whether it is well-reasoned and there's a chance of success. I have an opinion on that. The opinion is that it will hold water throughout, and therefore it will be a waste of time to go elsewhere. It would only involve costs to Mr. Clark's attorneys and more for the taxpayers of Jamaica, who have already been burdened with $17 million plus for one case.
Fatal shooting in St. Mary. There was a fatal shooting at a section of Robbins Bay in St. Mary involving two males and a female believed to be a 19-year-old. Reports are that their vehicle was intercepted by an unknown person who opened heavy gunfire. One man died on the spot while the other male and the 19-year-old, who was allegedly shot 3 times, were transported to hospital in critical condition. Investigations are ongoing. Jamaica now able to test for monkeypox virus. Jamaica is now able to conduct testing for the monkeypox virus, the health ministry said in a release on Friday. This follows a recent regional training in laboratory detection and diagnosis of the viral condition arranged by the National Public Health Lab in collaboration with the Pan American Health Organization. Chief Medical Officer Dr. Jacqueline Besesa McKenzie said the workshop was part of the public health system's preparedness and response activities in the case of an outbreak of the virus. This hands-on training equips our public health team to ensure the timely detection of any suspected cases, Dr. Besesa McKenzie said. The workshop on the laboratory detection and the diagnosis of monkeypox virus involved 10 participants from 4 Caribbean countries, Jamaica, the Bahamas, Guyana, and Suriname. Human monkeypox virus, if found in Jamaica, would be considered an exotic or unusual communicable disease and should therefore be reported as a Class 1 notifiable disease. Healthcare workers must report cases immediately on suspicion to the respective parish health department and the National Surveillance Unit, the CMO added. Monkeypox is a viral zoonotic disease spread primarily through animals. While person-to-person spread is uncommon, it may occur through direct contact with an infected individual. Infection typically results in symptoms including fever, back pain and muscle pain, the formation of lesions and skin rashes. There are at this time no confirmed cases of the monkeypox virus in Jamaica. Some Spanish Town residents welcome SOE. Some residents of Spanish Town in St. Catherine have welcomed the state of public emergency that was declared for the parish on Friday. The residents who spoke with the news said the security measure will help to curb the surge in crime. A resident, Nicola Evans Brown, also called for more patrols by the security forces outside of the state of emergency.
You have police and soldiers patrolling the place during a SOE. Why can't they do that on a regular basis? I don't see them every day. I want to see them out, just like how they're walking by. I want to see them walking by on a regular basis.
Business operator Janice Campbell added that there is need for a police station in the Spanish Town Market District, which was the scene of a deadly shooting on Tuesday.
The station was completely removed from Hanover Street. Hence is what you're seeing right now. So you cannot have a station on Burke Road so far from the action in the market area where players are here, and then you have a station as far away as Burke Road. So once you have another substation or a post, that will be good.
Several persons have been detained for questioning since the declaration of a state of emergency in St. Catherine. An hour after the security measures was announced, a wanted man was held in Gregory Park, Portmore. He was being sought for a murder and shootings. An illegal gun was also seized. The security forces have also been carrying out operations in search of men behind the flare-up of gang violence in Spanish Town. Government's first responsibility is the preservation and the protection of life. Commissioner of Police Major General Anthony Anderson says the declaration of a state of emergency covering the entire parish of St. Catherine was primarily due to the need for support from the Jamaica Defensive Force. He said that the growing intensity of the violence being spread from the St. Catherine North Police Division, which includes the violent-prone capital Spanish Town, had threatened to spread to the St. Catherine South Division, which includes Portmore. We had seen the danger. They have demonstrated through previous states of emergency that this methodology has been effective in quickly reducing violent crimes, he told the nation during Friday's press briefing hosted by Prime Minister Andrew Holness at Jamaica House. A state of emergency at this time will allow us the opportunity to optimize available resources, in particular support from the Jamaica Defense Force. As we advance the strategy to reduce crime and violence across all police divisions, we will continue our focus on gangs, guns and gunmen, he told the virtual event. Major General Anthony Anderson said police and military will combine resources to continue the campaign against illegal guns by the Jamaica Constabulary Force. He noted that the campaign has already seen the seizure of 368 illegal guns. In June alone, we have already seized 48 illegal guns and 7,449 rounds of ammunition, and 7,449 rounds of ammunition, an increase of 52% over the same period of 2021, said the commissioner, while acknowledging that significant emphasis is being placed on intelligence and investigations utilizing all available technology. He said that the security forces have built the institution's capacity to respond appropriately with due regard for the rights of citizens within the boundaries of the state of emergency, and will be conducting a suite of operations that will lead to increased presence and movement of the security forces across the parish. We will attempt to manage the impact of our activities on persons going about their normal business. However, there is likely to be some disruptions and delays, and we ask for your patience and understanding as we collectively respond to violence in St. Catherine, he added. He urged the public to support the activities of the security forces and assist by complying with them at checkpoints and notify them of any breaches of professional conduct by members of the force. Prime Minister Andrew Holness said that he decided to advise the Governor General to make the declaration based on the recommendations of the heads of the security forces. He said that it was based on a strategic understanding of the actions of the government relating to crime fighting and dealing with violence in the society. Government's first responsibility is the preservation and the protection of life. Government measures and keeps a track of deaths in the society, not just for the purpose of statistics, but it is important for government to ensure that the average citizens feel safe and secure, he stated. He added that there were 3 actions to watch in pursuing the violence: dons or community enforcers who lead gangs who use guns, the availability of guns, and paying attention to the young people, particularly young males who are being pulled into gangs by dons and are given guns. Government has to act. Government cannot sit by and see innocent Jamaicans going about their business, on their way to work or from the market, having to be scurrying for their lives. The government has to act. That is the government's responsibility, Holness concluded. Chief of Defense Staff of the JDF Rear Admiral Antoinette Wims Gorman also urged the residents to support the efforts of the security forces in carrying out the SOE and assured them that the JDF will operate within the parameters of their training and resources to ensure the protection of the human rights of all Jamaicans. She said the boundaries of the SOE essentially surround the entire parish. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.